Hi guys, I'm here. I can see some of you are here too as well. Hi Romaine. You remember to log in tonight. Good. I'm glad you're here. Hi Kim from Pennsylvania and Carrie from Huntsville, Alabama. Marva from northwestern or northeastern New York. So I got a couple PA people, it looks like. So I'm glad you guys are here. Oh, hi Sherry from Syracuse, New York. I got another New Yorker. So I've got a lot of people from the East tonight so far. Hi Crystal. Crystal's in Kentucky, so she's in my neck of the woods. I'm not in Kentucky, I'm in Indiana, but not too far away. Hi, Danette and Shannon from Southern California. We got a West Coast person now, too. Good. We've got the East Coast and the West Coast. Pretty cool. Okay, well, I'm glad you guys are here. Today, I'm using a set that's newer. It came out last month, I do believe. Yeah, it was last month. The Simply Zinnia Bundle. It's part of the Flowering Zinnias suite. And I've been dying to use this. I like it so much. This is also my for my card club this month. Those cards haven't been made yet. I'm making those tomorrow. I'm running a little behind. Hopefully, I'll get those done because I got to do my taxes. Yes, I haven't done my taxes. I got to get that done this weekend. So, got a lot to do. Hopefully, I get those pictures up real soon. But so my club members are going to have 3 card ideas from this class, and they're also going to get the 4 cards in clubs. So they're going to have a lot to do with their bundle. Okay, it looks like I've got some more people popped up here. Hi, Danette. I think I said hi to you. No, I didn't. Hi, Danette. Hi, Shannon. And Colleen. Oh, no, maybe I did say hello because just saw Shannon from California. Oh, don't understand why that thing won't auto scroll for me. Let's see. I saw somebody say they're a newbie. Where did it go? Oh, got Colleen from Ohio. Anne Marie from Spain. We've got someone out of the country. I'm glad you're here. Oh, Shannon, you're the newbie. There we go. I'm glad you're here. Well, welcome. Okay, now you might see a couple people because they know the routine. I'm going to go ahead and get this off. I've gotten paranoid. I always make sure that I'm showing up after that countdown on Facebook, then I know everything's working. You're going to see some people have already put this down. If you live in the United States and want to be part of my door prize drawing at the end of the video, make sure you put down hashtag door prize. You can look right there on the screen and type it in exactly like that because for the live, I do 2 door prizes. One for everybody that watches live and comments, hashtag door prize. And then I do another one. So if you're watching this as a replay, you need to comment hashtag door prize as well, and you'll get in on the second drawing. The first drawing, I do the winner at the end of the video. There's a neat little thing that I've added to my live program that I use, actually site, and it's called a raffle. And if you do the hashtag door prize, you have to type it in exactly like that because the system is what takes all of those comments that say hashtag door prize and has to be typed in just right. That way you'll get put in the drawing. Now, if you're watching the replay, if it's got a space in it or something like that, no big deal. Human eyes see that one, and I put you in the wheel that you're going to see here in just a minute. But make sure you do it just like it shows there on the screen. And you can see a lot of people have already done that. Oh, hi, Robin. Just saw, excuse me, your name pop up. This weather, I am not sick. My nose started running like half an hour before this. My throat's getting dried out. It's just crazy because it's up and down. It was like in the around 70 at the beginning of the week, and now we have a freeze warning tomorrow night. I'm sure that's happened to a lot of you guys out there. Oh, wait, there are a ton of door prize. Hashtag door prize. Glad you're here. Oh, hi, Haley from the Philippines. Glad you're here. Welcome. Okay, I'm going to scroll down because I know I've missed some people. Let's see here. Marilyn from Nebraska. I'm glad you're here, Marilyn. And that's one thing I might miss your comment, especially when everybody's commenting hashtag door prize. It starts scrolling up like crazy and I miss a bunch of people. So if I miss you, I'm sorry. I try my best to look at the comments the next day. Once again, the week got away from me and I didn't see them again until today, but it ended up being okay. There weren't any well, there's one question, but it was answered during the video last week. So that was good. Okay. Chile in Oregon, Jan. Yep, I think a lot of people are chilly. May not be chilly in the Philippines, though, or Spain. Okay. All right. Well, I think I've seen everybody. Oh, Crystal, thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. Okay, we'll start. I'll show you what the door prize is from last week. This is for everybody that commented during the live. Oops, wait a minute. I got this mixed up here. This should be on top. These are the 2023 to 2025 dots in color. I don't think I said in color. These are the in colors that are sticking around for another year, but the dots are not. So I'm giving away all the things that are retiring that I have in my stash. So this is everybody that watched the live last week and watched the replay and commented #door prize. So those of you that came on, if you want to get in on the drawing, and I'll show you those door prizes here in a minute, then make sure you do #door prize, but you do have to live in the United States in order to do it, because this is product, and per Stampin' Up rules, I have to keep it limited to people that live in the United States. Oh, hi, Pat. I'm glad you could make it this week. I know you had a busy Thursday last week going to church and all. Hi, Mary Pat. Glad you're here. Okay. Oh, Marva, you had some snow and sleet last night and this morning. Ooh, yuck. We've had a ton of rain. I think we did get a little bit of snow last night, but it didn't stick. It was the ground was too warm. So I'm going to go ahead, pull up the door prize wheel. So this is everybody that commented #door prize last week during the live and the replay. And let's see who's going to win. And I'm not going to name it till it stops, because sometimes it goes right past. Oh, Debbie, did you win or did you? Oh, Debbie, you almost won. That's one of my local gals. Okay. Congratulations, Michelle. I do have your address, so you don't have to worry about giving that to me. So congratulations. I'm glad you won. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the door prizes that are going to go on tonight. Now I grabbed, like I said, I grabbed some others. Now this one is already retired because it was part of Celebration in January and February. I still have a few of these extra. So this is for during the live. They're pecan pie. Well, let's just look at these. These are small of these same colors. These are the larger ones. This is, oh, I'm going to go nuts. What is that one? Oh, petal pink, I think. Yeah, petal pink, pecan pie. And I want to say, oh, it's pool party. I do believe that's pool party. Sometimes it's hard to tell between so the colors on, I can tell on ink pads, on embellishments, sometimes they look a little different. So that's going to be everybody that tonight watching the live that does #door prize lives in the United States. So there's a lot of you, because I've seen a bunch of #door prizes already. And then this one, I've done this one before too, but I've still got a few of these left over from a past class. These are the cork rounds, and these are retiring as well. I love these. I use these with that tool set. It also is part of Nature Sweetness, I think is what it's called, the sweet. And it goes really well with that. I had a lady say these make really good flower centers. And I do believe they would. I bet you could even color those a little bit. They wouldn't look exactly like the color since they're already that cork color, but you could change them up a little bit, I'm sure, with the Stampin' Blends. Okay, so that is everybody that does #door prize during the live and during the replay when you're watching the replay. And this one you've got until noon next Thursday, which should be April 11th of Eastern time, that is. So noon Eastern time, make sure you get your comment in, #door prize to get in the drawing for this. And I will do this wheel again next week. So that the winner will be next week, and the winner for this one will be at the end of the video. So make sure you stay so you can see if you won. Okay, I am ready to start this class here. Oh, hi, Denise from Colorado. Glad you're here. Let's see. Oh, good, Shannon. Shannon just said she found me on Pinterest. I have been neglecting Pinterest. I have got tons of pins I want to put up. I just haven't had time. It's hard to keep up on all those social medias. And I'm not on all of them. I just do Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. Well, and YouTube, of course. I don't think that's totally considered social media, but yeah. So I'm glad you found me. I'm going to make sure I keep that Pinterest going. Well, hi, Stephanie. Oh, ton of rain in Virginia. Cooler temps as well. Yep, I bet you're doing what we did yesterday. We had a ton of rain. And Monday. Actually, it's been raining for days here. Oh, and Deborah's catching me from southern New Jersey. Glad you're here. Boy, you guys are from all over tonight. This is cool. I love hearing where you're from. I'm just hearing I guess we're called the Heartland, Indiana. At least I've heard that. Crossroads of the something or yeah. I know, yeah, crossroads of something because a lot of the roads end up in Indiana is why we're called the crossroads. But here is the bundle. I want to show you this. Oh, you know what? Well, let's all go ahead and show you the bundle. Then I'll explain how you can get the card kits free. But hopefully you're seeing that. On my end, it looks kind of funny. That's the bad thing with internet, and I don't look doesn't look like I have a great signal, so I hope we do okay here tonight. Oh, is this your favorite set, Myrtle? I really like it too. Oh, hi, Deborah from Pennsylvania. I didn't see your name, and Christine from Illinois. Glad you guys are here. I'm glad I looked up. I had a couple more people come on. So here's the Simply Zinnia. On all the cards, I'm going to do 3 different zinnias. Oh, good. Thanks, Crystal. So it's just my screen then. The first card is going to be the zinnia here. The second card is this one. And then the next one, the last one, is going to be using the dies to make the zinnias. I want to show the 3 different ways you can make them. I'm sure there are other ways too, but those are the main 3. So I love this die set. And a lot of our die sets are doing this. They're doing this now. The open ones, die cut the images in the stamp set. We've had that for quite a while. And then the other is standalone dies that you don't have to have this stamp set to make different things in this. Let's see, Romaine, love this set too. Cannot wait to see what you do with it. Oh, good. I hope you like them. Oh, hi, Kate. Glad you're here. I didn't see you on earlier. And she's from Canada. So we've got a Canadian here too. We've got a lot of people everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side, but I can't remember the price, but this is part of the online exclusives. This bundle is not in the catalog. Most of the stuff I'm using tonight is, except for the cardstock, of course, is not in the catalog, and the embellishments, and I'll explain that here in a minute. But there's the bundle. Now I want to explain how the class works. So the class, just watching the video, you could get to watch that free. Everybody gets to everywhere. Now, to get the card kits, per Stampin' Up rules, the only way you can order from me is if you live in the United States. And you'll see that little ticker. It's going to come up here in just a minute showing the host code. Use that host code and place at least a $40 order before shipping and tax, and you will get the 3 card kits, and you can make 2 each of the cards. Then, if you bump it up to a $50 order before shipping and tax, still using that host code, you will also get the Iridescent Foil Gems. And there are some sequins that go with this suite, but it's not available right now. So I got another embellishment set that goes really, really good with this, and you can color these too, and we'll be doing that on a couple of cards here tonight. Okay, you just got home from work. Well, thank you for coming on so quick. I bet you're pooped after being at work all day. Okay, so $40 order before shipping and tax using that host code. Get you all 3 card kits, and it's enough to make 2 cards each of the cards tonight. If you bump it up to $50 order using the hashtag before shipping and tax, you also get the Iridescent Foil Gems. And if you ever place an order that's $150 or more before shipping and tax, then take that host code off. That way you can get Stampin' Words from Stampin' Up, and you will still get all of this. So $150 order or more, take off that host code. That way you get the Stampin' Words from Stampin' Up, and you will get this. Okay, I saw a couple more come up here. Can we order the glass mat? Not yet, Kathy. I haven't heard anything yet. As soon as I hear, I will let you know. I'm hoping they still have some available, but they haven't told us anything yet. But I will let you guys know as soon as I find out anything. Okay, because I've had a few people ask me about this. Oh, thanks for sharing, Denise. I appreciate that a lot. Oh, thanks, Crystal. Crystal just let me know the bundle's $52. I knew it was around $50, but I didn't know the exact price. Let's see. Do they cut flowers out of the DSP? You know what? They do not. I don't think. Well, wait a minute. I'll have to check that out. You know what? I could check that out on one of these, maybe. This is a partial. Oh, here. Let's see if that's going to. Because after I said that, I wonder if this one will die cut. Nope, it's too big. I don't think they do. There is one other one with flowers, and I don't have it here with me, and I think they're the same size. So I think actually this time they don't die cut out, which is strange because normally they usually have at least one design, but I'll have to check that out, and I will put that in one of my posts if I find out that it does match up. And if there's anybody on here that knows it does, let me know, but I don't think it does this time. Okay. Oh, hi, Michelle. Guess what? You just won the door prize earlier. Let me show you. I've got your address, so you don't have to worry about telling me, but you got the in color dots. So I'll be mailing those out probably the beginning of next week when I mail out the card kits from last week's class. Okay, so let's get started. I just realized I say okay a lot, don't I? I'm going to go ahead and take this ticker off. That way you can see a little better, and I'll bring that back up again. But if you ever are like, boy, I can't remember what that host code was, I didn't write it down, don't worry. If you're watching on YouTube, click down on the look down the video description and click on the card class at home link there, and that will give you all the information. And if you're watching the replay, if you click on that after April 10th, you'll see what I'm currently offering. But for those of you here tonight and through this coming week, just click on that link. If you're watching on Facebook, click on that Learn More button, and then you click on the link that says Get Free Stuff from Me. Get free stuff when you order from me, I think is how I worded it, something like that. Click on that, and that will give you all the information, the host code, and everything you need to know to how to get the card kits. And those of you on Facebook, whenever I bring up a link, just click that Learn More button, and you'll find it there. And YouTube, you just look down the video description, you'll find the link there. Okay, now we're ready. I got to give all that out so you guys know where to look for stuff. Okay. I don't use real red that much, except maybe at Christmas. And I was kind of excited to see real red in this paper. And this paper is so vibrant. I can't get over how bold the colors are. I really, really like it a lot. So this is a regular 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. Let's see here. And I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half. Let's see. Did I miss something? Because I saw Michelle said, thank you very much. So somebody must have answered your question. I don't see it. That's the one bad thing. Sometimes I'm really starting to wonder if I see everybody's comments at all on this thing. Okay, so there's my card base folded in half. In the card kit, I think I forgot to mention this. Everything that is die cut or embossed that's not part of the bundle. Okay, I do all the embossing. Anything that's die cut, I die cut if it's not part of the bundle. There, that makes more sense. So this one, I will do the embossing. This is from the Flowering Zinnia Suite, same suite as the bundle. It's actually called Zinnia 3D Embossing Folder. So you'll find one of these in your kit if you get it. And I've already started coloring these. I went ahead and stamped them. And you're going to see me stamping. If you're new to stamping, the next thing I do, I'll be stamping a greeting, and you stamp it the exact same way. I used this stamp here. Here, let's turn it around so you can see the image better. So I stamped these two twice using a Memento, the Tuxedo Black Memento pad. And then I started coloring these in. The reason I did some of it ahead of time is just because they do take a little bit of time. If you're watching a movie or something, it goes really, really quick. But if you're watching a live, it seems like it takes a long time. So that's why I did part of it ahead of time. I'm using Melon Mambo. But you're going to get all of the steps just with me doing this little bit that I've got here. So you'll see exactly how to do. I'll be doing it, and you just do exactly like I did on everything else. I always start with my dark shade. Whenever you buy our blends, they come together in light and dark. Oh, Michelle, thank you for the gems. You are so welcome. Okay, so then actually it was Michelle King Dye that won. I'm sorry for the confusion. Yeah, Michelle. There's a Michelle King Dye that's on here. She was the one that won earlier. But you make sure you do the hashtag door prize here tonight if you haven't done it already, and maybe you'll win tonight. I can't remember if you won another night. Maybe you're thanking me for that. If you did, you're welcome. But it's another Michelle that won here so far. Who knows? We might get two Michelles. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, isn't this red? It is red, isn't it, Michelle? It's very red. It lives up to its name. But I'm using Melon Mambo here. I probably would never, ever think to do Melon Mambo and Real Red together. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell in this paper, but that's Melon Mambo and that's Real Red. They're just a little bit different. I'm going to use my dark Melon Mambo, and wherever I see lines here in the flowers, that's where I'm going to do the dark shading with the dark Melon Mambo. I love it when Stampin' Up! Lets us know right where to do the shading. But you can always add dark somewhere else too if you want to. But this is where, if it was a real flower, there would probably be some shading. I'm just doing wherever those lines are. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then I'll do my light melon mambo and color the rest of these in. And I'm going over the dark just a little bit with the light. I used to always automatically go over the dark, but now I get to where I go ahead and color around it. And then if it looks like it needs to blend, then I blend it, because there are some shades you really don't have to do that much blending at all, and you end up making the dark a little bit too light. But once it starts drying, then you can tell, and I can tell there are a few places like this one, there's too much of a contrast there. So I'm going to go over the dark, and where the two shades meet, kind of go over it with the light, and that lightens it up. And it makes it blend really, really nice. So there you go. Hopefully you can tell that. You can see all the shading. It's just a nice gradual shading when you do that. These are alcohol markers, and the alcohol ink, they start mixing together, which is really, really cool. Okay, so I'm done with the melon mambo. The center, I'm going to do pumpkin pie and lemon lolly. I love that name. I'm going to take my dark pumpkin pie, and just this little center area right here, I'm going to just do a little, very little dark, because that center I thought needed to be a little darker than the rest of it. And then the light pumpkin pie is going to go around this. So I'm just doing that center area right there. And now I'm going to take my dark lemon lolly, and there are dots around here. I'm just going to color over those dots. I'm even not worrying about getting right on the dot. I'm coloring over the whole section, even the black area, because the ink's not going to show that yellow. So you're fine. Just color all those little dots. And then the little, I don't know, the stamen. I used to know all those words for flowers. I think that's what it is. I'm going to use the light lemon lolly and color those in. And the neat thing with this, I don't know if the video is going to let it show up quite so well, but I think with these dark colors around the flowers, those, when you do these light, they look like they're just popping off the paper. They almost look 3D. I think that's pretty cool. Let's see. Michelle, they do. The blends really do make it pop a lot. Oh, you're welcome, Shannon. I love to give tips to everybody. I've been doing this a long time and want you to learn the stuff I've learned. Okay. I think it makes stamping a lot easier when you learn a bunch of tips. Okay, now I've got my old olive. This is what I'm going to do for the leaves. There are two greens in this paper. It's lemon, lime twist, and old olive. So I decided with all of my blends, when I pick blends to use on these card classes, I try not to use too many. So I'm only going to use the old olive greens for the leaves on all the cards that I'm coloring, that is. The last card, I'm doing the die cuts. Don't worry, I am still using lemon lime twist cardstock. I love that light green. But this old olive, I thought, looked a little better with some of the darker flowers I was making. So I'm just doing this just like I did with this. Wherever I see lines, I think I'm even going to do the center line right here. And it's okay if I kind of jiggled. It actually looks better that way. You don't have to make it nice and even and a nice curve. If you look at leaves, they're not going to be perfectly symmetrical. So now I'm going to grab my light, and I'm going to go over this again. Now this one, I just know, old olive, I am going to have to blend it, but I'm going to show you the difference here. So right now I'm just going to hurry up and color all over the leaf. Now the leaves don't take that long, so that's why I'm not doing the partial flower like I did, or a partial leaf like I did on the flower, because the flower does take a little bit longer. But I want you to see the difference. Look at this one all blended, and this one where I haven't blended it yet. You can see how there's such a big difference right there. Now I'm going to go over the dark to where it kind of mutes it a little bit. It's like magic. And I just keep going over until I've got it blended the way I like it. And then if you ever take too much or blend it too much and the dark isn't dark enough, just go back and add some more dark to it again. This one needs a little bit more here. Oh, I forgot to get that stem. And I'm okay that I'm getting out of lines. I'm going to be die cutting this anyway. Okay. Now I'll bring it up again. And now, doesn't that look a whole lot better? It's blended a lot better. I love playing with my blends. They're a lot of fun. Oh, thanks, Myrtle. She said, beautiful coloring. Thank you. The blends make it easy. Okay. Oh, hi, Yolanda. I don't think I saw you. So I put hashtag door prize. Glad you're here. Okay. All right. Oh, and hi, Paula. I knew I saw somebody say hello, so that's why I stopped for a second. I'm like, where did that name go? So I'm glad you're here. And for those of you that are new, I'm on YouTube and Facebook at the exact same time. So if you ever hear me say hello to somebody or answer somebody's question and you don't see the comment, it's probably on the other channel. If you're watching on Facebook, it's probably YouTube. Just so you don't think you're going crazy. So I've got this all ready to go. It needs to be die cut. I'm going to go ahead and get all the stamping done. This I die cut from a die set I have been neglecting. I've been finding out I'm neglecting a lot of my stuff, but I've also got too much stuff. Well, I'll take that back. We don't have too much stuff, do we? Picked up the wrong one. That's for the next card. These are called the Nested Essentials dies. It actually probably looks better doing it this way. And I used to use these a lot, and I got busy with some other stuff, and I was glad I thought to get this one out again. I'm using the number 2 die. That's this one right here of this set. Whenever I count, I always have the smallest one's number 1. So this is number 2, and that is what die cut this. And since this is not part of the bundle, these will be die cut in the card kits. So I'm going to take my, let's see, where'd it go? I want to do the words fail to express my gratitude. Oh, there it is. And I'm going to use Melon Mambo. I went back and forth whether to use Real Red or Melon Mambo, and I went ahead and went with Melon Mambo. Now with mine, yours is probably not going to be like this. I think when they die cut my set, it was off a little bit. I've got all of this rubber down here. So always check and see, because it's cut really, really close here. So I have a funny feeling it just didn't get in the machine quite right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it down a little. I want it right in the center, but I'm going to bring it down a little farther than center, since I know I've got all that rubber. Let's see if I get it. Oh, that's not too bad. But sometimes you have to look. So I just knew, well, the first time I stamped it, it was way up here, and I thought, oh, I forgot about all that rubber down there. So if you ever get a set like that, it still works. You just have to remember you've got that, or you could also cut this off too. Very carefully though. I'm going to go ahead and leave it because it hasn't been a problem of getting any ink down here. When it starts messing up my stamping, I probably will trim it a little bit. That's right, Lynn. Not enough time to use it all. That's exactly right. Need more crafting time. And I even do this full time and I don't have enough time. Okay. Oh, hi, Diane. From snowy West Virginia. Oh, you're getting snow too? I've been hearing a few people getting snow here tonight. That's no fun. It's April. It's supposed to not be snowing anymore. But I had, you know how you Google, if you have pictures, I'll give you memories. I think it was 6 years ago. We had a big snow here in Indiana. So I'm like, okay, it happens, but I don't like it. Okay, so here is the inside of my card. Make sure I'm remembering right what I did. Oh, yes, this is how I use paper. I was getting ready to stamp on it. That's the other card. I decided to use paper that's from the outside of the card. This is a 4 by 3/4 inch piece. And let me grab my seal here. I always like to decorate the inside so it coordinates with the outside. And this time, a lot of times I'll go all the way to the bottom. This time I decided to leave a little bit of a white border there at the bottom. Okay, so there's the inside of my card. I'm going to go ahead and put this inside my card, because I am so good at covering things up and not being able to find it later. My regulars can attest to that. Put this right here in the middle. So that is ready to go. I think I'm going to go ahead and get the die cutting machine out. Ugh. Always have to move everything around so I can get it in the screen. Ooh, that's kind of close. Hopefully that looks a little weird. Sorry about that. I've got the camera real close so you can see my stamping. Hopefully, you know what? I'm going to move this over a little bit. There, that's better. You may not see it come out, but that handle is probably going to mess with the zoom. I might even want to bring it in a little more. There we go. That might help. Let's see. Hopefully it won't be blurry. So if it's too close, the camera is going to be, that's why I try to keep my hands down, because everything will be blurry here and sharper there. So for die cutting, you want the base platform. You want the die plate. And then you want a standard cutting plate on top of that. Let's see, Becky. Yes, Becky, I do that. She says how she trims off the extra rubber. I usually do that. I just didn't have time, and plus I haven't had trouble with it. I really think I am going to trim it off because that's a lot of rubber, and I know I'm going to mess it up sometime. Oh, hi, Donna. Yeah, the colors in this are so pretty. I love them. They're really, really bright. And she's from Canada too, Donna is, by the way. Okay, from Alberta. All right, now I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to grab the dies. So these are from the bundle, so they will not be in the kit. You'll have to either if you've got the bundle, then you'll have the dies. If you use another stamp set, of course, you'll just use the ones you've got the bundle you're using. But those are the 2 dies I need. Now put this on. Now one thing, I see this one little petal that's kind of sticking up. Whenever I do dies, I try to find something that's a little different from the rest of the die. And this little one right here is sticking up a little bit. And that makes it line up just fine. And also too, I've seen the like this one's a little wider and that's a little wide area. But I think I found that one that sticks up just a little bit makes it a little easier to line up. So get that image to fill in that open area of the die completely. And I just moved it. There we go. This is so much easier when you can have your head over it. My camera is in the way, so I can't do that. Oh, and by the way, this is Post-it tape that I'm using. That keeps the stamp in place. I mean, the die in place, so it doesn't move on me when I put it through in the machine. But the Post-it tape, the type of adhesive it has, I don't have to worry about it sticking to my cardstock and tearing it up when I bring it up again. But you can also use Post-it notes because that's the exact same adhesive, and that works great too. So I'm going to put another standard cutting plate on top. I'll run this through. Okay. And I might as well leave this right here because I'm going to need it for the second flower. So we've got that one. It cuts it out. They cut them out so well. And this one. And I'll go ahead. I can move this up now. I'm okay with this hanging over because I've already die cut that out. You want to make sure that what you're die cutting is definitely on this plate. You don't want it hanging over because then it's not going to have the pressure it needs to cut it. And then we've got this one. Get that completely in the open area. Not too bad. This being bigger, that's why I'm using 2 pieces of tape. I'm going to put this on top. Oh, scoot that back down again because this was starting to go off a little too much. I want it on there a little better than that. And this will be all the die cutting for this card. Hopefully I didn't look. Hopefully everything didn't get blurry. Okay. I know if I'd kept that handle, everything I was die cutting would have been really blurry. So now we've got this one ready to go. And last but not least, the leaves. Okay. If you notice, I've been keeping the tape because you can use it over and over and over again. Actually, this one goes over here. This is another one of those. It's almost like a puzzle piece to get to fit. Now, if you haven't bought from Stampin' Up before, I add this magnet sheet was something I added to it. It comes in a nice plastic envelope. The dies do, but I like putting them on this magnet sheet too, and then putting them in my envelope. Okay, so put this to the side. Don't need that anymore. Now I'm going to take this. You know what? I'm not putting any ribbon on this. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the card base. You can use whichever side you like. I think I'm going to use this one. I don't know if you can tell. This one, they're more lined, and here it's almost a bolder looks, but either side looks great. I love it when our embossing folders give you a choice. They don't all do that. Some of them you can just plain tell the way you need to do, especially if there are words on it. But this one, either side looks good. So this is just going to go right in the center. This is a 4 by 5¼ inch, by the way. I don't know if I told you that, basic white. Oh, hi, Cynthia. I'm glad you're here. And now I'm going to grab this piece. This is a 4 by 3 inch piece. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to put some adhesive right across the top center. I'm not going to go all the way. I can go all the way to the corners. It's not that big a deal because it's going to be going on the card. I want it right along the edge because what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my silicone mat just because I'm going to turn this over and I don't want all that adhesive. Actually, I got some on it anyway on my mat, my glass mat. So I'm going to put this here. This, instead of using a whole sheet where I waste a bunch of cardstock, because we're not going to see this stuff here in the middle. This is the side I want, so I'm going to turn it over. You could use this side too, whichever side you like. I'm going to kind of put it in the middle. The neat thing with this, I've got little polka dots on here. So that kind of helps me see if I've got it straight. I'm going to turn it over and see if that looks pretty good. That's about the width I want on top. I'm going to turn this over, make sure the flowers are showing. This is the side I want to show in the front. I can kind of see that where this is at by looking at this line of polka dots. And don't worry if it's not perfect. People are not going to notice that you don't have it completely straight. I'm going to put this one. It's not going to go right up against the polka dots this time because I want it to be the same width up here as up here. That's close. I might bring it up a little bit more. Bring it over a little. So that looks pretty straight. You can take your fingers like that. If it's close, then you're good. Let's turn this over. That's not too bad. This one might need to come down just a little bit. That's the nice thing about our seal. I shouldn't have pushed down. There we go. Our seal, you can usually get it to come up within the first 10 minutes. So I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. Look at those polka dots. See if I've got it straight. Now, the polka dots don't work if you don't cut this straight. Thankfully, I cut it straight. I can tell it is. Oh, that looks good. That looks pretty even. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this on my card base. What you could do, too, is put this down, this piece down here. And maybe don't put an adhesive under here, and then you can kind of slide this underneath. But I think it's just a little easier to do it the way I did it. Now, take some adhesive here, corners. I think I'm even going to put just a little bit where those two pieces meet. Now, the edges, these edges need to go right along the edge of the white piece. And I'm putting it in the center. I'm going to lay it down first. Okay, I want to make sure it's looks good and looks straight. And that looks pretty good to me. Yeah, so now I'm going to push it down. That looks good. So this looks like I've got this big long piece underneath there, but I don't. And that saved a ton of paper that I can use another time. Now I'm going to take this greeting here. And yeah, this one I put on with dimensional. So I'm going to turn this over. And I'm only going to put dimensionals across. Oh, those are the minis. I don't want the minis. There we go. I'm going to put one on each end, like so. And then I'm just going to put one right in the middle, and that's it. So it's going to be a long line there. Oh, thanks, Michelle. I'm glad you like that idea. Okay. And then because normally I will kind of put a couple here and a couple here and not have a long line here, but I'm going to be sticking those flowers that I die cut a minute ago underneath this. So it's going to be nice not to have those dimensionals in the way. So I'm going to take your pick tool. I use the paper piercer, and I've always put it in at an angle and scoop it up. That just, to me, is easier to get those backings off. And then this is going to go across the middle here. It's a little shorter than the width of this. So there is going to be some DSP showing on each side. And that looks pretty good. The first time I made my card, I had it over too far, but I think that looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to go and push that down. And I just realized I said DSP. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's designer series paper. That's what this pattern paper is called. So whenever you hear me say DSP, I'm just talking about the designer series paper. So I've got those on. I'm going to bring in the flowers and the leaves. I'm going to put some adhesive, and I think it looks pretty cool on the back too. that our blends do soak through the cardstock, and that's actually what you want. Then you know you've got enough in there. I'm only putting it near the center because I'm going to be sticking these leaves under there. So this is going to go right here. And I kind of liked it hanging over the edge of the white layer, but make sure it doesn't go past the edge of the card base. So I'm going to put that there. Go ahead and do this one too. So once again, just put adhesive, kind of making a little triangle there in the middle. I'm going to turn this one upside down and put it under here, like so. Another way you can do it, you can even turn this over and kind of put it down if it's easier to look at right side up. Okay, now I'm going to grab one of these leaves, put some adhesive here. And now I can put it underneath the flower a little bit because I don't have any adhesive under there. Before I touch it, I'm going to kind of move it around. That looks good. Put some adhesive on here. I'm going to lift this up a little bit, get that underneath there. And that looks good to me. So there is that, but we need to put the bling on. Oh, hi, Mary Schreiber from Minnesota. I'm glad you're here. I just looked up. Let's see. Oh, that's true too, Deborah. She said if you heat it up a little bit, if it doesn't want to come up, if you like if you've got a piece of paper and you want to heat up the adhesive a little bit, just take your heat tool. That'll heat up the adhesive just a little bit and you can pick it back up again. Good idea. I've done that with taking stamps off of wood blocks. But yeah, that makes well, actually not with heat tool. I use a microwave with that. But that would definitely work. So just you could take your heat tool, warm it up a little bit, and that would loosen up the adhesive. Very good tip. Okay, so we've got this on here. Oh, we've actually got somebody in a sunny area and hot. Hi, Sandy from Tucson. Yeah, you'd have to go get down to Tucson for it to be hot. It's cold up here. Glad to hear somebody's warm. So there is that, but I do need to grab the embellishments. And this time, these are those iridescent foil gems, and these are the small ones and the large ones. I could take my Melon Mambo and make some Melon Mambo ones, or my old olive blends and make old olive ones. But I thought with this one, since it's already really bright, it would look better with just the clear ones. So I'm going to use one each size, grab a little one, and put it about right here. Grab a big one. I'm going to group those two together. Then I'm going to grab another big one, put it down here, and another little one, and put it about right there. So that is the first card. So I just like the faint look. They're just little shimmery looking ones for this card. I just thought it would be a little too much to add color to these. Oh, thanks, Jan. I'm glad you like it. Thanks, Becky McFalls. I'm glad you like it. I'm saying last names because I know I've got a few Beckys. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Peggy. Barth, I'm glad you like it. And Lynn, thank you so much. Thanks, Debbie. Okay. Oh, thanks, Myrtle. Glad you like it, and Jan. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side. We've got another card. And the neat thing, I can't remember, there are so many colors in this paper. It's like 10 maybe. There's 12, 10 or 12 colors in this paper. So there are so many color combos you can come up with. So that was more reds and melon mambos and old olives. This is going to be purples. So I should have hid that one. Oh, well, because I colored part of it already. But this is Highland Heather and Old Olive are the main colors on this one. So this is the card base again. It's, oh, hi, Marty. Glad you're here. I'm glad you love it. She's going to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here before long. She's one of the, was with Close to My Heart. So she'll be coming over to Stampin' Up! So we've got 5.5 by 8.5. What's the name of the set? Oh, Becky, this set is called Simply Zinnia. Here, let me show you. In case sometimes it's better if you see it in writing, in case I didn't say it very clearly. Simple Zinnias, that's what it looks like. And these are the dies that go along with it. And it's in the online exclusive. So if you go to my online store and just type in the search engine Simply Zinnia and you should be able to find it, because it's not in any catalogs. So I'm going to fold this in half. This, I can't remember if I said the size. This is 5.5 by 8.5 of Highland Heather. Oh, thanks, Heidi. I'm glad you liked the first card. Okay, so I've got this here. This time I'm going to do a landscape card. So I want the fold to be on top. Oh, you're welcome, Becky. And then I'm going to grab this. This is a piece of lemon lime twist, 5 1/4 by 4. Let's see. I'm going to grab some paper here. I can wipe. Well, actually, you know what? I can wipe this off. I'm not going to worry about it. I got to get used. I have had this for a while, but sometimes I forget how I can clean it really easy. So I wanted to have a background on this and without embossing. So I'm going to clean this off. It's already getting dirty, but I got a new chamois. My other one had seen better days, so I got another one. That's what, almost what it looks like when it's brand new. I've already got ink on that side too. But they last a long time. And let's see. Yeah, this is the only thing I used. So I clean that off because now I'm going to use lemon lime twist ink. And the only part that's going to be showing is the border. So I'm going to stamp part of it here and then go up a little bit here. So just a little bit of it shows. And maybe bring this one down. So I'm trying to make it still look like I'm making a triangle, because whenever you do a background, you want to kind of stamp in a triangle. Then it doesn't look like straight lines and it looks more of a neat pattern for your, more like DSP. That one's up a little bit. So I'm going to bring this one down a little. That one, maybe just a little bit right there. I'm okay if they overlap a little bit. Then we get this ink off of here before I get it where I don't want it. Okay. I'm going to close this up. I know that looks a little funny right now, but it's going to look really neat when we put it on the card. I'm going to grab, this is a piece. Get this dried off a little bit. There we go. This is another piece of the paper. This is I want to say 3 by 4. Yeah. Well, 4 by 3 inch piece. You can use whichever side. Either side will work, but I like the leaf side on this one. I put some adhesive on it. And then I'm going to put it in the middle of this Highland Heather piece. This is a 4 1/8 by 3 1/8 inch. I just wanted a narrow border around it, so I only went 1/8 of an inch bigger on each way. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the card base. Kind of doing things out of order. Usually I get all the stamping done first, but sometimes I like to just put the card together quick. Put this here. And then I'm going to put adhesive on here. And I'm going to put this right in the middle. Like so. There. So now you can see, you can't tell that I didn't stamp anything here. We've got a nice little border here. It just looked a little too plain to me. And that is lemon lime twist ink on lemon lime twist cardstock. That just gives you a nice little background if you use the same color. Just makes it a little bit darker. If you want the image to be a little lighter, use Versamark ink, and that'll be even a little bit lighter because that's more of a watermark. Okay, now get some stamping going here. I'm going to grab this piece. I'm going to make sure, I have done this so many times. When I'm doing a landscape, normally I do a portrait card. But if I do a landscape, I want to make sure the inside of the card is also landscape. There are so many times I stamp the inside and I end up doing it the wrong direction. So I'm kind of telling that to myself, but also to you so you don't make the same mistake I usually do. Now I'm going to bring in Blackberry Bliss. And when it's a big ink, big stamp, I tend to turn it upside down and then bring the ink to it. That way I can tell that I'm getting it inked up really, really well. Now I am getting some ink where I don't want it. You know what I think I'm going to do just to be on the safe side? I'm going to take this little rag here. This is what comes with the glass mat. Hopefully that'll become available for you guys to order. And then I just wanted part of this. Most of it is going to be on here. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm going to kind of angle it a little bit so most of the flowers are on. Hold that down for a few seconds just so the ink takes hold. There we go. So there's the inside of my card. You can just do something simple like that to make it look neat. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the card. Get that dried off. That's a nice thing. This thing dries really fast too if you fan it. And then I'll put this on the inside. Like so. Now, if you want it to be this to be lighter, you could also stamp it in Highland Heather. That just happens to be a ink pad I didn't use, so I didn't want to get another one out. So we got that. Now I'm going to grab a piece of basic white, if I can get a hold of it. It is a, well, come on, 4 by 3/4 inch. So this is 4 inches, that's 3/4. I'm going to grab the greeting that says sending flowers and thinking of you. Should have kept the Blackberry Bliss open because I'm still using that. Oh yeah, Heidi, these colors are really neat, aren't they? I have to admit, these are probably color combos I wouldn't come up with on my own. Stampin' Up! Does that for me a lot. I'm like, I would have never thought of that on my own. I'm going to put this in the center, maybe over to the left just a little bit more than center. Hold that down. There we go. And I'm going to take my scissors. They're called paper snips for us. They've got to name everything, which is cool. So now I've got that ready to go. I've got a little bit of ink right there, but I'm not going to worry about it. And put that to the side. Now I'm going to bring this in. This was stamped, and you saw me stamp this already, so you know how to stamp it, except I used Tuxedo Black Memento. So this is what I stamped this, and then I started coloring it in. Now this one is done with Blackberry Bliss. You can do them all one color. If I were going to do them one color, I would do them all in Highland Heather. But if you look at this, you can kind of tell this one is one flower stem together because they kind of connect right here and go up. This one's kind of on its own, so that's why I decided to make it a little different. But if you look at my first card that I've made, and I'll put the video link down to that in the video description. I forgot to do that on YouTube. Can't do it on Facebook, but on YouTube I can. And I did 3 different colors. So you can do whatever you want. That's the nice thing with stamping. It doesn't have to be just like nature would have it. You can do it whatever way you want. So I'm going to grab Highland Heather. That's the lighter color. So this is Blackberry Bliss. I'm going to take my dark, make sure I'm using the dark because it's a little hard to tell with this one. And once again, where I see all those lines that Stampin' Up! Put on the stamp for me, I'm going to color all these with a dark Highland Heather. And it's funny, I haven't used this purple for a long time. I use Fresh Freesia a lot ever since we got that. And when I got the Highland Heather out again, I thought, oh, I forgot how much I like this one. It's a really pretty purple. Now I'm going to use the light Highland Heather. That's another thing Stampin' Up! Does when they put a bunch of colors in a paper pack. They'll bring colors I haven't used for a while. It's like, oh yeah, I do like that one. So I'm going over the dark, trying to blend them in a little bit, but I'm not blending too much. Like I said before, sometimes you need to let it dry a little bit. So I don't know if you can tell with it wet, it's actually even looks like a little bit of a different color than this. It's going to look just like this once it dries, and it dries pretty quick. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to put a little bit here on the edges. So that is how you're going to color. You just start with the dark, and wherever you see lines, that's where you do the dark shade, and then you color in the rest of it with a light shade. And now this, I went ahead and colored the centers, but this one, you can see this one has that center like the center on the first card. So I'm going to do the pumpkin pie and the lemon lolly again. And I still like doing that dark. You can just do all light pumpkin pie, but I like doing that dark pumpkin pie right there in the middle just to make a little bit of a shading. And then my light pumpkin pie will color in the rest of that rounded center there in the middle. And then I do see some little dots again, so I'm going to take my dark. And once again, you could just do all the yellow in the light or all in the dark, whichever you want to do. But there, that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to use my light lemon lolly. And don't worry, I think I said this last time, but all of these little bitty stamen that you're coloring or whatever they're called, don't worry if you start coloring on the purple, because that's actually what I'm doing. The purple is so light, it's not going to mess it up. So I've got it all popped up again. It looks like 3D again. I love that. And this one, I just decided to color the whole thing with the light lemon lolly. I'm not going to worry about doing any dark because you're not going to be able to tell the difference. So I just color that whole center in like that because the centers on these are actually even a little different than that one, or at least they're just not showing that orange center. And now to do the stems, this is how you do the whole thing, but I'm just doing part of it. Once again, grab my old olive, the dark one. I'm going to go along these lines. I don't think I'm going to go all the way to the end on that one. And you don't have to do all the lines dark because sometimes, especially if you're doing an image that has small leaves, you may not want to do all the lines if you want most of the leaf to be light because you're going to end up having way too much dark. There we go. So I just got a few lines here. I definitely want the top of the stems that are underneath a flower to be darker because because you definitely would have shading there because the flower would be shading the stem. Now I've got my light old olive kind of at an angle so I can tell I'm getting out of lines more than I want to, but that's okay. I'm going to color this in. And once again, you're going to notice that the dark is going to be way too dark again. It's funny how some of these shades you do not have to blend too much, and some of them you have to blend a lot. Now I'm going to go back and go over where the two shades meet so they'll blend together. Not kidding, I've always loved using my blends. I think it's fun blending the shades together. I'm getting out of lines a lot. Oh well. There we go. So that is what it's going to look like when you get it all colored. And now I'm going to bring in, thankfully we have a die for this. Bring this back in. I want to show that one part so it doesn't mess up make it all blurry. Put this down. Grab the die. They've got this great big die here that'll die cut this out. I'm going to move my microphone so I can get over this so I can tell if I've got it in the center. Just fill up that center of the die with that beautiful flower image. That looks pretty good. Put one down here and that should hold it pretty good. Put this on top. And there we go. And take this Post-it tape off, and this one will be all ready. And that's all the die cutting I'm doing on this one. So we can get this out of the way. I'll be doing a lot more die cutting on the next card. Okay, now I'll bring this in. Make sure that fold is on top. I'll tell you guys a little secret. When I first made my first card, I put all of the things on here on the green layer and then put on my card. Then when I went to put the inside in, it was upside down. I couldn't believe it. I haven't done that for a while. I couldn't believe it when I did that. So that's why I always make sure the fold is on top. I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. So I'm going to turn this over. We'll just put definitely going to put one in the center of each flower. And let's see, let's put one over here. I'm not going to go all the way to the end because that's a little bit narrow. I don't want that dimensional to be showing in the front. And I think one down here, that should be plenty. Now, take the backings off. And this just fits this way on the green. And you can kind of tilt it if you want to, have it straight. I'm having it more straight. I went back and forth and then decided to have it straight. I'm going to put this on like so. And then with this one, it's going to go over the leaves just a little bit right here. But, so I don't want any dimensionals here because it's actually going to be attached to the top of here. And this is already popped up. So I only need dimensionals on the end that has the angle where we cut. Put one on there and then put one close to the middle there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some seal or our adhesive there on the end. And put this at an angle. Coloring is relaxing, Crystal. I totally agree. I've always loved coloring. So I'm going to put this on. And I kind of liked it. This little leaf here that's kind of just hanging, I kind of like that going over my greeting just a little bit. Before I push down, I'm just going to lay it down. Make sure it's straight. I think I'm going to bring it up a little bit more because I like to underneath that leaf a little bit farther. Just make sure that leaf does not cover up your greeting. That looks pretty good. So there's the front. We've already got the inside in. Now we just need to put some bling on. But this time I didn't want to just do the clear ones. So what I'm going to do, let me grab, usually I put them on, oh, there they are. So this time I'm going to color these. So I decided to go with Highland Heather. I thought there's enough greens in this, and I like the lighter color versus the darker one. Because this is not really a dark card, but I just wanted to brighten it up a little bit. And of the two, it depends on what you want to do. Normally I go with a dark blend when I'm coloring these because it does lighten up a little bit on these embellishments. So I keep them on the plastic backing that they're on. I'm going to be using one of each again. Always use the brush tip. You could use this probably. I've just never tried. It would take a lot longer. The brush tip's a lot easier. Make sure you use a very light touch because you do not want to start fraying that tip. So I'm going to color this. Actually, I'm going to move that down a little bit. It's a little too close. Some of these kind of moved on me. There we go. I didn't want to color that other one that was right up against. Color this one. So I need 2 big ones and then 2 small ones. So we'll go ahead and do these. So I'm even making sure I get the sides. So a little bit of the blend ink will get on this plastic backing that they're mounted on, but that is okay. It'll wipe off. And you can just let it dry too. Okay, and I'm going over again, letting it dry a little bit and then putting another layer on. If they look good to you after your first layer, then you don't need to do that. I could tell they needed to be darkened up a little bit again. And now I've got Highland Heather dots. Now I'm going to grab one of the big ones. I can get a hold of it. Oh, the putty's all messed up again. Pick this up. And I'm going to put one right here. I'm going to kind of group it together again. You know what? I thought that's what happened. My glue dot got on my glass mat. You know what? I'm going to put the glue dot right here. And then I will put this right on top if I can get it to cooperate. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm going to grab a little one and put it right here. I'm going to grab the other little one. I kind of wanted a little, oh, actually this works out perfect. I've got my little blemish there from my ink. That covered it up right away. You can always cover up mistakes. And there. So now I've got some little Highland Heather embellishments. So that is the second card. Debbie, I like the purple and greens together too. I have to admit, this is definitely not a color scheme I would come up with on my own. I really liked how it turned out. I was like, oh, that looks good. Yep, I would have never thought, yeah, I agree. I would have never thought to put these colors together. I really like it a lot. Oh, thanks, Romaine. Glad you like it. Oh, thanks, Michelle. I love to hear I'm a good teacher. I try. Okay. All right. I think I've seen it. Oh, thanks, Becky McFalls. I'm glad you like it. Michelle Dye, thank you so much, guys. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side. Now it's time for the last card. So this one is going with pinks again. And no reds. This time I'm using, this one is probably lighter than the other two. And let's go ahead and I didn't do any coloring ahead of time because there's no coloring on this one. So this one has a lot of pieces to it, but it goes together pretty quick. So this is a 5.5 by 8.5, the regular size I've always used for the card bases. And get those corners lined up. Oops. There we go. Now this one's going to be a portrait card, so we're going to have the fold on the left. Oh, thanks, Lynn. I'm glad you liked the last card. Thanks, Robin. Glad you guys are liking it. Okay, now I've got one little thing I need to stamp on the front. Now I'm going to bring in those circles I brought out by accident earlier. These are the deckled circles. You've seen me use these a ton. I love how many there are. I mean, look at how big these are. I mean, let me just put it to a card base so you can get an idea. So these are perfect if you scrapbook, if you want a big circle. I mean, this is humongous. You know, I've never measured this. Let's see how big this is. It is around a 5 3/4 inch circle. That is pretty big. Pretty cool. But I'm going to be using the number 7 die. So number 1 is the smallest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this was the one I used to die cut those circles. So if you get the card kits, you'll get that circle. I'm going to grab my Blackberry Bliss ink pad again. And this one is Thank You So Much. Ink this up. And once again, I think this whole set is just off a little bit. So I think I'm going to have to do a bunch of trimming. But I didn't think it was worth getting a new, have them send me another set. They would have, but I can make this work, no problem. So I'm going to stamp this in the bottom right corner of my circle. Not going all the way to the bottom. Oops, that didn't stamp very well, did it? You know what? When that happens to me, I grab my silicone mat. I'm going to turn this over. Sometimes with greetings, I think it's better if you use the mat. That's better. So now I got a little mark there, but I'm not going to worry about it. We're good. I could cover that up with an embellishment. Okay, so put this over to the side. I think what I want to do is just start doing some die cutting. Or do I want to cut? Nope, let's stamp the inside quick. Oops, sorry. When these things get on the glass mat, they make a big crash. But I do need to clean this one. I haven't used this one tonight since I already stamped it earlier. So this is the only one I need to clean. I'm going to find the inside. This is the inside of the card. It's another 5 1/4 by 4 inch, or 4 inch by 5 1/4 inch piece. And I'm going to use Melon Mambo ink. Make sure I ink this up really good. Sometimes when they're detailed, I'll turn them over and do this to make sure I've got enough ink on there. I'm going to do a partial here in the corner. Hold that down for a few seconds. Then I'm going to take my Lemon Lime Twist, because this is a lighter card, so I'm going to use, I don't want the flower green, I want the leaves green. And I'm just going to do a partial right here. And I kind of wanted another leaf up a little bit more. No, actually down a little bit more. So I'm going to kind of bring it down here. So now it looks like I've got a couple leaves going. And this one is going to show up a little better. There we go. That looks good. So that is the inside of my card. Now go ahead and put this on the inside. Got it over to the side because I'm letting that glass mat get a chance to dry. All dry. Okay, now I can put this on the inside of the card. There we go. So we've got a neat little inside. Now I'm going to grab the die cutting machine because we've got a lot of pieces here. So what I want to get out, now what I'm doing with this one, there's this one long strip. This is a 8 1/2 by 1 1/2 inch piece of Lemon Lime Twist. This is enough to do both of your cards. That way I didn't have to cut all these little pieces. So this is enough for 2 cards. That's enough for 2 cards. And so are all these. These are all the pieces I need for the flowers. So these are the ones I'm going to grab out of my kit. Put these to the side because we don't need those just yet. Oh, bring this in. And the dies, oops, hold on a minute. Got things falling. I'm going to need those later. You know, I'm going to turn this around so it's on there better. Okay, what I need these 2 right here. I need this leaf here. Oops. And then I need this stem here. So that's all I need from the die set. I'm going to grab, this is all set up for die cutting again. And I'm only going to put these on one end. I want to still have this end for my second card. And there's a leaf there. Then, if you look at these, one has the center is a little bigger than the other. So this is the way I did it. The one that's a little smaller center is the top, the one for the top layer. This is for the bottom layer. So I want a Melon Mambo one for the bottom. And I'm going to grab, you know what? I think that's all I'm going to, well, no, I take that back. I do want to do this here. But we'll be good. I'm okay with this hanging over because I'm not going to be putting any dies on it. And here's the smaller one. So I want the only small one I need is on the petal pink, because we're going to be doing another one of these in another color. I've got those on. I'm not going to worry about taping them. I just need to make sure they stay on the cardstock. And that one's not wanting to cooperate. There we go. Bring this out. Put this nice and easy down. Hold it down give it some pressure while it's going through. And once I get to this part, then I don't have to hold it anymore. This over. I only need one stem. I don't know if I might have to poke it out. Yeah, let me just grab take your pick tool. There's a little hole right here. Oh, it came out anyway, but I could poke that through and it would come right out, but it came out on its own. So there's that stem. Get my little dish here. Then I've got the leaf. Here is the Melon Mambo flower. I love how it puts little lines in it. I don't know if you can see that or not. There we go. And then, so this end is for the second card, and this end is for the second card. I'll put those over to the side. I need the one with the larger center again. I don't need the stem. This one I'm going to have to poke out, so it's got little holes. I'll just poke. Usually I just have to poke one petal out and I can get a hold of it. Usually. Sometimes you have to do a few more. There we go. Doing the center actually helped. That popped it out better. So there's the smaller one. But this one I don't need any more of. So I'm going to put this back on here again because I need one more leaf. Now, where did I put that die? Oh, there it is. Got out of the camera. So this leaf will just go right here. And then I need a Fleur de Flamingo piece. And I think I forgot to tell you the sizes of this. This is a 4.5 by 2 inch piece to do both cards. So that's the size of the petal pink and the Melon Mambo. They're all 4.5 by 2. And then these little flower centers. If I can get a hold of these. These are both 2 by 1. Yeah, both of these are 2 by 1. This is pumpkin pie. This is lemon lolly. So I'm going to grab the one that's got the big center. That's going to be my Fleur de Flamingo. And I forgot to get 2 more centers. I want this center and this center. So both of these here are the ones I want. The one for the ring that goes around the outside, I want with a lemon lolly. And this little center one is going to go on the pumpkin pie. Now put this on top. And I will have all the pieces together. And I'm going to save the other halves for another card when I make it another time. Okay, that one I'm going to have to poke out. Sometimes you have to poke them out, sometimes you don't. You never know. Oh, come on. There we go. There's that leaf. Get all these dies back. This one's got some little lines cut in it too. That's the center. And then we've got that. Throw that piece away. And last but not least, we've got this flower here. All those pieces of cardstock. I'll make sure I don't throw those away because I need those to make the card again. And that one. So those are all the pieces. Get this out of the way. We're all done with that for tonight. Let's see, I think I missed some comments here. Oh, Carol, I'm glad you're liking it. Oh, good, Myra. I'm glad you're liking the zinnias. I like them a lot too. This is a really neat set. This has been on my list to make cards with for a while. For a class set, as I've already made a card before. So let's go ahead and put this together. I'm going to grab my silicone mat. I think it's a little easier to use multi-purpose glue for. You can definitely use our seal still. But when I put die cuts together, a lot of times I like to use glue instead because you've got a little leeway where you can kind of scoot it a little bit before the glue takes hold. So the bottom of my flower, the melon mambo is not going to show that much, but it does show an extra layer. Let me show you the DSP quick I'm going to be using. So you know why I did this. Oh, good. I was hoping one of these. Actually, that's not cool. Yeah, that's it. See how the top layer is petal pink and then Fleur de Flamingo underneath it and the melon mambo underneath it with this center. That was the flower I kind of trying to mimic on this. So that's why I did 3 layers of this. You could definitely just use 2 layers and kind of do that and have a beautiful flower. But I'm filling it in a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put kind of lay them right next to on top of each other and then kind of move this like this a little bit until I can see all the petals. And they aren't perfectly lined up, but that's fine. It's a flower. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this over. I did forget to put glue on it. So I'm only going to put glue here in the center. Kind of move that around a little bit. Now, without laying it down, I'm looking at this little petal here that's not rounded like the others are, so that way I know how to line it up. And I'm just going to move it a little bit. And before I start pushing it down, I'm going to see if that looks okay to me. And that does look pretty good. So I'm going to hold this down and put pressure on it. That way the glue soaks into the cardstock. That's one thing I've learned. If you don't do that, it's going to start moving on you. But right at first, it will move a little bit, which is kind of nice because you can kind of scoot it. But when you're ready for it to be stuck, you push it down and you'll be good. Now this one, there's really no rhyme or reason. I just want to make sure I'd see as much of the melon mambo as I can. I'm definitely going to see Fleur de Flamingo. But you can tell how they're a little shorter this way. I want the wider section to go left and right. So that's kind of how I'm looking here. This looks a little longer this way and a little shorter this way. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on here in the center. Bring this over. And I'm going to hold on to the petals and not put it on just yet. This one, like I said, I'm trying to show all the colors that I can. That looks pretty good. Yep, I can see all 3 colors. So I'm going to push this down. Make sure it gets on there really good. Now I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here. And once again, this is long, so I want to look at the center that's long. And cover that up. And hold it down for a few seconds. Then I'm going to take the flower, or the little stamen, I guess is what these are supposed to be. And I'm just going to put a little bitty dot of glue on each one. And because I've got my silicone mat, if I make a dot that's too big, which a couple of them are, I can turn this over and tap it on the silicone mat. Some of the glue will go on the mat and I can peel it off once it dries and it won't ooze out when I put it on here. So once again, you want it to go long ways this way. And just try to get it to go right around that pumpkin pie flower center. Hold that down, getting a lot of pressure on it. And now that's done. And what I can do, since I only put glue on the center, I can even kind of curl these up if I want you to get more of a 3D effect. And I'm not using any dimensionals on this one because I want to be able to pop these up a little bit. If you go to mail them, they will flatten out. But if you curl them a little bit, they'll probably still be curled a little bit when the person opens it up. Or they can also curl it up if they want to, whatever they want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting this together. Which way do I like better? There's that way. I think I like it better that way. So I'm going to take this. This is the way the stem is going to look. I want to angle it this way. I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Where did I put it? Just on this top center right here. And then I'm going to kind of go here. Turn this over. Make sure it's up here in this top. Hold that down for a few seconds. Actually, I can push it down on here so I don't get glue on my fingers. That makes more sense. So now the stem is on there. Now I'm going to bring the card base down. Now I'm not going to put the leaves on just yet. We'll do that, but that's how I put the flower together first before I put it on the card. So now I'm going to grab the card base, put that to the side. I've got a piece of petal pink. This is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to grab that DSP piece I just showed you a minute ago, 4 by 2 inches. And this is just going to go right along the bottom of the petal pink piece. If I can get that lined up here. And once again, I'm just laying it down, not pushing it down until I know I've got it where I want it. Looks a little cockeyed. There, that's pretty good. Got a little bit hanging over, so I'm going to grab my scissors and trim that off. Not much, so I probably didn't even have to mess with it. There we go. Now I'm going to put some ribbon around this. Now in your pack, if you get the card kits, this is a 12-inch piece. It's from the Ribbon Duo Combo Pack. This is lemon lime twist ribbon. The other ribbon in the pack is petal pink. So both of those ribbons work great with this paper. But I only need a 6-inch piece. So in your pack, you've got a 12-inch piece. Just to save time for me making the kits, I'm going to give you one piece. You just fold it in half when you get your kit. Grab your scissors and just cut it in half. And now you've got 2 pieces for both cards. So I'm going to take this 6-inch piece. I'm going to grab my tear and tape. Always fun trying to find the end. There we go. Grab a couple pieces. You want the length to be wider than the width of the ribbon. Or longer than the width of the ribbon, I guess you should say. I'm going to put this right across the top of the DSP. Bring this around. Put the tear and tape on like that. Make sure this looks straight and no DSP showing above the ribbon. And then I'll put this one on. So that's, and I'm pushing it down to make sure the tear and tape is down really, really good. I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the rest of the petal pink. There we go. You wouldn't think I'd forget this color because this is one of the colors I use for my logo. Now I'm going to take the paper piercer. When I do this, I go in between the end of the adhesive and the ribbon and just kind of go back and forth. That helps you just pick up the paper backing and not the adhesive. Whenever I start from the end or near the ribbon, a lot of times I end up pulling up the adhesive too. And if I kind of go like this, it kind of loosens it up and it comes right off. I used to just use my fingers and it always took me fingernails. It took so long. I'm putting the DSP on the bottom, making sure that fold is still on the left. So that's ready to go. I'm going to bring in my thank you so much circle. And it's going to go on right about here. So it's kind of centered top and the sides. If you look at the border of the petal pink, that is. Make sure the thank you so much is straight. Put that on. Now I'm going to bring in my flower. I'm going to bring this in again. I'm going to put glue on the center. You could definitely use seal, that's fine, but I'm just going to put it here on the center, maybe a little bit on the Melon Mambo petals, because those I'm going to leave flat because those help it stay on the cardstock better. I'm going to put some glue here on the top of my stem and here on the bottom. I don't want any here in the middle because I'm going to be sticking those leaves underneath there. And that makes it a lot easier to stick those in if there's no glue there. And it's something to hold on to too. Now I kind of like the flower, kind of angled right above my thank you. Like so. That looks good. So now push this down and the stem. Get that pressure again. That way you know the glue is going to soak in. Now I'm going to bring in my leaves. Oops, the other one kind of flew away. There we go. Put a little bit of glue. I'm only going to put it here near the bottom of the leaf. And I kind of like this one. I'm going to lift this up a little bit because there's no glue there. And you don't want it to where the end is sticking out on the other side. You want to make sure it stays underneath, so you're only putting a very little bit under that stem. Then hold the leaf down. Put a little bit of glue here. And bring this in. Now this is going to be angled a little different. I kind of liked it that way. You can also turn this over and have it go that way. It looks like it's going the same direction to be the mirror image of that one, but it's a little rough looking on the other side. So that's why I decided to keep it that way. I'm okay with them going different directions. So almost done with this card now. I'm going to grab my dimensionals again. This time, because this is all lighter again, I decided I didn't want to keep them clear. So I'm grabbing my lemon lolly. And I almost went with petal pink too, but I thought there's a lot of petal pink on there, so I'm going to go with the lemon lolly. I'm going to use my dark lemon lolly again. This one I have a feeling wouldn't show up much at all. And I need 1 large and 2 small for this one. So here's a large one down here, so I'm going to color it. And one thing, when I started doing the lemon lolly, I thought, okay, it's not coloring very much, but it really looks like it's yellow once you put it on the card. So now I need 2 small ones. And come down and put another layer of yellow, because that gives the alcohol dries really fast. And I'm using, like I said earlier, a very, very light touch. For one thing, you want to use, yes, make sure you don't mess up your tip using a light touch. You also want to use a light touch, because if you go too hard, you almost rub the ink off of the embellishment. You won't when it's dry, but you might when it's wet, because I have done it too hard before and almost kind of rubbed the color off. Oh, thanks, Sherry. I'm glad you're liking it. Oh, thanks, Debbie. I do too. I love the die cuts with this. It makes a really neat flower. Okay, those should be dry already. I love alcohol ink. It dries quick. So I'm going to grab a big one, big gem, and I'm going to put it right about here. Grab one of my little ones. I'm going to put one right here. And on my original, I put one down here, but since I've got a little purple mark there, I'm going to put it right there. It's going to look just fine. There we go. So there is the last card. Get that a little closer so you can see it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this class. Oh, hi, Christy. Oh, you're fine. I know you're late, but don't worry about it. You can watch the ending. Oh, your granddaughter came over again. You can't miss the granddaughter. You are excused. You got to see that granddaughter. Okay, so now I've got all the cards together. And if you did come in late, don't worry. Like Christy did, there's the replay pops up as soon as this live's over, which is so nice. That's one good thing about lives. You can see the replay whenever you want to. So you can come back and, like, if you get the card kits, just come back and watch the video and make the cards with me. Pause the video whenever you need to. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Romaine. I'm glad you liked it. Oh, good. I'm glad to learn some tips. That's my goal, is to teach you guys some stuff. You like all the cards, but the third one's your favorite. I have to admit, I think, and that's the first one I made, actually. I think that's my favorite too, because I was dying to make one of these die cut ones. So that's my favorite one too. I agree. Thanks, Patricia Rawlinson. I don't think I've seen your name before. I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you like them. Thanks, Christy. Thanks, Lynn. Yeah, you do need to get this set, Lynn. I love it. And it's, like I said, it's in the online exclusive. So just go to my online store and type in the search engine. Actually, you can probably just type in Zinnia, and all the Zinnia products will show up for you. Thanks, Marva. I'm glad you like all of them. And Carol, thank you so much. And Myra. I think I saw everybody's names. Let's see. Oh, Becky, yeah, you said you like to custom color the gems. I do too. It's a lot of fun. I tend to get the clear ones, or the pearls, or the rhinestones, because you can color those and make them any color you want, which is pretty cool when you've got the Stampin' Blends. Our Stampin' Right markers, that won't work. You've got to use alcohol-based ink for it to work. Okay. Oh, thanks. This is another Lynn. Yeah, I've got a couple Lynn's. This is Lynn Phones. Thanks. I'm glad you liked them. Yeah, the Zinnia set is really cool. Okay. All right. I think I've seen at least the ones here at the end. Oh, is Joe watching too? Hi, Joe. I'm glad you got to watch this week, Pat. Oh, you like the peachy pink one best? Yeah, this one here, I like it too. And that's another good name for this. They call it petal pink, but it does look peachy, doesn't it? That would be another good name they could have used for it. Because they always, most of our colors, if you ever look at them, the two words start with the same letters. We've got Blackberry Bliss, Melon Mambo, the Lemon Lime. Well, that one has three, so the twist, that's okay, it does, but the Lemon Lime is two L's. Hi, Mimi. Glad you got to come on. Okay. Oh, thanks, Myrtle. Yeah, card number 3 is my favorite too. So, oops, let me move some things around here. I always have to move my camera that's on me so I can see your comments. Oh, I missed a couple here. There we go. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, let's go to me just for a second. We will go back to the cards. Oh, good. The door prize is still on there. That worked out perfect. And the ticker's back on. So if you want to get the card kits to make these cards, then use that host code. You're going to see it's popping up in the ticker again. Use that host code, place a $40 order before shipping and tax, and you will get the card kits to make 2 each of these cards. I do all the embossing and the die cutting that's not part of the bundle. So like the flowers that you saw me die cut, those I don't do, but I do like the circles and then that label I used on the first card, but all the embossing I do for you. And then if you bump it up to a $50 order before shipping and tax using the host code, then you'll also get the gems. So I can show you that here real quick, because I know some of you weren't here at the beginning. So if you really like these cards, just place that order. Let me switch there. I'll put the ticker back up too. There. So if you use that host code, you're going to see with a $40 order before shipping and tax, you'll get these card kits, makes 2 of each card. And then these are this is the full pack, and you will get a full pack of the Iridescent Foil Gems if you bump it up to a $50 order before shipping and tax using the host code. And then if your order is $150 or more before shipping and tax, take that host code off. Don't use it. You'll still get all of this, and you'll also get Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up. I don't want you to miss out on that. And don't miss out on the retired stuff. April 9th, which is this coming Tuesday. If you've seen the list, I have the retired list. I can't remember if I've got a link down in the video description. I will make sure I get that added. I know I don't have it on YouTube, so I'll get that added. I mean, on Facebook, I mean. So you can click on that link. It'll take you to the page that I did when the retired list came out, and there are links to the both of the retired list for the January to April mini catalog and for the, here I can go to me. I'm used to doing my recorded videos and you just see my hands. There we go. Where was I? Oh yeah. So both of those retired lists are on there, so you can find them there. But April 9th, you'll notice some of them have discounts on them. The discounts don't take effect until Tuesday. So some things are up to, I want to say there might be some, I know there's some that are 50% off. I almost think there might be some 60. Yeah, there are. Not that many, but it's like 10 to 60% off on some of the items. Actually, quite a few. So those will go fast starting April 9th, I'm sure. All the discounted stuff usually goes really quick as soon as the discounts start. Ink colors also go away. The ones that are 2022 to 2024, those are, a couple of the ink refills are already gone. You want to get those before those are gone too. Speaking of ink colors, I don't have them with me. My box of new stuff came from the new annual catalog as demonstrators. We usually get about a month ahead of time to be able to start ordering from the new catalog. Now, with the mini catalog, we can order anything. With the annual catalog being bigger, they usually just give us a list, which is what they gave us this time. I was able to get all the ink colors. I actually had such a good celebration, and I have you guys to thank for that. We get money to spend on Stampin' Up! Product when we reach certain sales and recruiting goals. I was able to get all of the ink color stuff free. That was the best celebration I've ever had. So I want to thank you guys right now for that. And then I also got a bunch of other stuff. And I'll be showing my team that. I'm not going to show you guys right now. That's a little perk for the people on my team. I'm planning on doing an online meeting with them here in a week or two. I've got some people in different states that are on my team. So a lot of my meetings are online. Actually, I haven't had one in my house for a while because my classroom is a mess. I've got a bunch of retired stuff in there. Once I get it cleared up, my local people, I'll probably have come over every once in a while. But right now, they're like Zoom. They are Zoom meetings. I'm actually using a different program, but they're Zoom meetings. So we do make cards and show off stuff, and I'll be showing them all my new stuff. I'll show you guys some other time, closer to the date when the catalog's going to go live. But right now, just my team will get to see my new stuff. But I haven't even got to see it yet because I want to get things ready for you guys. Now, I'm noticing some of you have read the door prize. Make sure you do the hashtag door prize. That way you will get in the drawing. Let me see if I can get these. There we go. Those are the opaque faceted gems. These were in a celebration last January and February. But everybody that did hashtag door prize here during the live will get in the drawing for this. I'm getting ready to do that here in just a minute. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure you do the hashtag door prize. Type it in just like you're seeing it there in the screen, because it's got to be typed exactly right for the program to pull your comment to put you in the drawing. Okay, and I always have to wait a few seconds just because there's always a delay. I'll do that here in just a minute. And you do have to live in the United States. So that's just because it's a product for Stampin' Up! Rules. And also with me having to mail them too, it doesn't cost me as much if I keep it here in the US also. Okay, I still see a couple of hashtag door prizes, so I'm going to wait just another minute and then we'll start it. Get my little cursor here on my raffle so I'm ready. Oh, a couple more popped up. We'll wait a little bit longer. And while we're waiting, I'll just go ahead and say, if you guys ever have thought about becoming a demonstrator, especially those of you that order from me a lot to get these card kits, my ladies, which I'm behind on, they get, there's an exclusive PDF that goes along with this. It's not an instruction PDF, but it goes along with the video because the video is the tutorial that you're seeing right now. Everybody gets to see that. But my PDF has all the the paper sizes on it, pictures of the cards. It's just a little supplement, the supplies. So if they ever want to make the cards again, they've got all the supplies listed. It's got the links to the video and the supply list, all that good stuff. My team gets all my exclusive stuff in our Facebook group. They get the links to the PDF. They get the my card club videos that are exclusive to my card club. My team members get those too. I'm also offering, because I've had a couple want to get my card kits for the card class at home. They get the just discounted price, just what I pay for, and that's all they pay, just to reimburse me for the card stock. So it's just a lot of little perks for being on my team. So if you're ever interested or have questions, just contact me and let me know. I'd be happy to answer. Okay, I think the door price, hashtag door prices have slowed down. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. This is so much fun. I'm going to get going here. I'm falling off my chair. I've been standing up through the whole thing, so it's on the tip of my chair when I sat down. Let me put the raffle up. We will get this started. I've got it all set up. So here we go. So everybody that did the hashtag door prize. Yeah! Myra. Yay. Congratulations. Let me write your name down real quick. I'm going to keep it up just for a minute. Make sure I get the right last name because I think I have a couple Myras too. Myra, I think I have your address. If you don't think I do, contact me and let me know, but I'm pretty sure I've got your address. If not, I'll put it in the comments saying, tell you what, just to be on the safe side, contact me. I'm not sure if you're watching on Facebook, just message me there on Facebook, your mailing address. If you live, if you're watching from YouTube, there's a contact me link down in the video description, and you can just contact me that way and give me your address. And I always forget I need to take this off. It doesn't go off on its own. There we go. That raffle I've only had it for a few weeks now, and I keep forgetting. You think I'd remember by now, but I keep forgetting to turn that off. So let's go ahead. And hopefully I got the sound with the cheering on. I clicked on it and I couldn't tell if it worked or not. So where'd my captions go? I want to turn off the door prize. Thanks. We don't need that anymore. But I hope you guys had fun. We had a really good crowd tonight. There were a ton of comments. That was a lot of fun. When I get comments, that just makes the live, and it makes it go faster too. We've been on just over an hour and a half. And it never feels like it's that long. Always try to get it done sooner and it never does, but that's okay. We're having fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, Myra, you're sure I do? I think I do too. So I know, especially if you've won one before, but I'm sure I've got it. So yeah, don't worry about it. I've got a couple Myras, like I said, but I'm pretty sure I've got your address. So we're good. So I'll get those sent out probably the beginning of next week when I send out the card kits from the last card class from last week. So I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you had a great Easter. I forgot to say that earlier. We had a nice one. It was a good one. It looks like there's some, oh no, that's on my screen. Looked like I had a weird thing on my face, but oh, that's my cursor. There we go. Now it looks normal. I thought, what is that on my camera? But I hope you guys can come back again next week. I do a live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, and I'll be back with another class next week. So if you have any questions, just comment below. I'll come back and look at them. I will look at them tomorrow, I promise. I've got to stop putting that off because when I do it the next day, it goes fine. So I'll be back on YouTube. I'll have to, if it's a question I didn't answer during the video, I will look at the chat. Then I will have to put it in the regular comments below the video because they don't let me use the live chat anymore once the live's over. Facebook, I'll be able to reply directly underneath your comment, no problem. So I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend and stay safe. Bye, guys.